racers are made like Chaz Mostyn and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because I'll tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we get a good run. Dodds just absolutely committed into it. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're live here again for a belated championship round of the Simrigs.com Supercar Amateur Series, where they may be amateur in the title of this series, but they're definitely not amateur when they come to the on-track battles. My name's Peter Gretton. Tyler Sheaf is with me once again. Belated all the same, Sheafy, but we watched a little bit just then, just for quality reasons, and, well, the battles, brief bit of the battles that we seen, well, you've already seen the whole lot, is going to be a cracker here this afternoon. It is the championship round. Who can take it out, mate? It's going to be a good, a great afternoon of racing, and Chicago Street Circuit plays host.
Yeah, good day, Pete, and obviously welcome back everyone for the second stream for today. Yeah, today's battle is going to be awesome. Got Matt Whitaker and Jamie Davis, the first and second in the championship, very close, so depend on their results in the first and second heat is going to make or break the champions for them. But I'm definitely looking forward to today's race, and yeah, hopefully a bit of a surprise for a couple other drivers out there today.
Well, once again, we apologise for the belated broadcast. We're here in the end anyway, and as I said in the last one earlier, how good was that IMSA Shadow Series grand finale? It was great, but we pledged not to miss a round next year, and let's get rid of this spoiler that I've got on the screen right there, mate. We jumped the gun a little bit with about 5 minutes to talk a little bit of you-know-what and have a bit of fun with it, and look who I've seen in the safety car here as well, mate. I believe there was, maybe I've missed the bin, or are you gonna bin it in the last 5 minutes here? Because I know this safety car looks way too brand new because it had a cartwheel, I believe, earlier on in practice.
Yeah, you're definitely correct on that. I'll definitely know my first corner out of here. I went straight into the ball. Yeah, just kind of mistook it, but yeah, it's definitely good fun though. I did a lot of practice in V8 coming to this round. Got last minute call to help out for the safety cars. But obviously, thanks to everyone that's joined us here, Jason, Fuvins, and everyone Gamer Dad. Hello to you guys. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, it's definitely a very, very difficult track. There's a couple of corners there. If the driver goes side by side, they're going to be pushed straight to the wall, so it can be very dangerous out there. But it's a very technical track as well. Like, you can't go as fast as what you think you can go into the corners. You just cross out pretty easy, and as an American road circuit, it is very, very rough on the track surface as well.
Well, how good is iRacing bringing this in too? I do believe that iRacing with the Chicago, I don't know what you call it over there, the local government or something, they actually created this track, and it's a little bit reverse, isn't it, from what it usually happens. iRacing usually goes over and scans an existing racetrack, but this time iRacing went over in conjunction with people over there, obviously, and created this. And NASCAR have actually taken it from iRacing and made it a reality. I'm not too sure if you watched, I think it was this year, they went there for the first time, mate. So a little bit different that we've actually created a real life track off our iRacing platform. That's how good it is.
No, it's definitely the race for the future, you know, a lot of less budget cuts and stuff like that where you can create a track and see how it works, you know, year by year, you know, sim racing become more and more realistic, the cars become more and more realistic, we understand how to make a track become more realistic, so over time I wouldn't be surprised that we see more and more tracks come out in iRacing before they come out in real life, so looking forward to see what the new developments can be for the future for gaming.
Yeah, well, iRacing since COVID has just exploded. We've sort of seen it slow down a little bit, haven't we? But 2023 was a great year. We've already said a couple of times today, 2024 is going to be even bigger, or better rather. Gives a shout out Jason, F1 Gamer Guy, what the audio and that's like, because I did make a little adjustment. I watched back the last one and my voice was way over the top. So I've made a bit of an adjustment. Hopefully Sheafy's coming through loud and clear, and hopefully these car sounds. You can't mute the car sounds too much, can you, Sheafy? Because, well, it's a supercar. They sound awesome, and Aussie toughness.
Yeah, definitely correct on that. No difference if you race an old school V10 Formula 1 car. I know it can be really loud at some time, but just it sounds too good to be true, you know. Especially in real life when you're at the trackside and you see the cars go by. As you see Dylan DeBono practicing his pit entry. It is a very difficult pit entry. It's like a hairpin basically just to get into the pit. So there could be massive potential of carnage involved with pit entry tonight. But we see Jamie Davis out there currently P2 in practice. He's doing an awesome job as well this season. Just keep it nice and clean and up there in the points as well. So, and Matt Whitaker as well. So P1, P2 currently in the championship battling out for the final round.
Yeah, well, I've had a bit of, I've called a few races, probably not called, spectated a few races with Jamie Davis. I may have called one or two, but he's definitely got pace and some skill. But with the undulations and the walls, look how close they are here, and we've got a cam that shows just that, mate, the closeness, how they get to the walls. Probably not too close here, but probably closer in the race too, or in qualifying when they're really starting to turn up the wick a little bit. But that's John Gallen we're riding on board with. Oh, he gets close to that McDonald's sign. Oh, super close. So, and this is in practice as well. Just imagine once they're trying to fight for that illustrious provisional pole in qualifying, they're going to use a little bit more of that track. But a couple of good cams to look at today. We've got a wall cam, we've got all the normal iRacing cams and a few others. And well, we're just about to get it into qualifying, and this is going to be my favourite looking car. I've said it a million times, the M1 Racing, Steve Kennedy and Darren Crosby behind that wheel. But practice 23.9 is the best we could do. Whitaker was with that time. Only one driver in practice into the 23s, Sheafy. So let's see what these boys can do in qualifying now, because it's 15 minutes. We're only doing, minute and a half, but it's imperative to get a banker in a track like this, because, well, we've just explained the undulations, the roughness of the track. The walls are so close, albeit the track's fairly wide, but you make one mistake, one exit, that's it. You're got to start again. So watch a couple of slower lap times, I think, come in now at the start of qualifying, Sheafy, and then we'll get the times come down. But how good's this track, mate? It's absolutely awesome for a spectator.
Yeah, it definitely is. Of course, I've got a lot of carnage as well, which I know a lot of fans out there love carnage, especially the young ones. If you go anywhere around the world, when you see carnage, they light up and go, oh, look how cool that is. But if you're paying for the bills, you definitely don't like that sort of stuff. But Chicago, it's just such a tight technical track. We did see the Indy cars out there and NASCARs out there earlier this year. And they've put on an awesome show around here, so it would be definitely awesome to see these V8 supercars go around and put on just as good as the show.
Yeah, Indy cars would be challenging here because, well, you've got the added danger of your car wanting to, it just gets within a metre of a wall and you lose your front wing. So much like the A and B pillar, in a supercar or a tin top or whatever you call sort of these cars. Let's call them a sedan. We're in Australia, so a normal sedan. I'd much rather the A and B pillar, and I'm the same. I don't jump on bikes for that reason, mate, because, well, you can call me a bit of a you-know-what if you want, but definitely the safety. I couldn't imagine driving a bike or an open wheeler around here. As the time should start coming in now, so about 2 minutes. We'll give it a little bit. There's a few purple sectors getting put down. 24.06 is the best time out here, but they'll definitely come down as the session goes on. 24.0 though for a banker from Jamie Davis. That's pretty cool. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely is very quick, and a lot of these drivers as well, just they're very quick in what they can do on the track. Skilled drivers a lot. I know for sure next season we are promoting people to Pro-Am, so it's not just Pro and Ams, it will be Pro-Ams, especially on this Tuesday night as well. These guys here will be in 2 different splits, which is an awesome thing as well for the drivers out there. I know that a few of these guys are very, very quick and hard to keep up with. I know that for sure, driving the V8 this season, so I'm very happy to see the split into 2. Makes it a bit more competitive, and hopefully a couple more drivers stick around during the whole season. But to see 25 plus cars out there for the last round is a phenomenal effort, and they should be very proud with what they've done for the season.
Yeah, and that's just a credit to our league organisers, admins, and race control as well, because that they're the 3 biggest things that it's the 3 things that a league like SRW needs to get right. The 3 things that keeps your retention with your numbers, and to have the championship go down to the wire. I think the championship was crowned by 10 points. That was the difference between position 1 and 2 at the end of it. Bit of sportsmanship there, just letting them all pass. That's pretty good to see, as you see in the back shot there. That's just purely get out of me road. Or it might be a little bit of silly buggers. They don't want to do a lap without the draft, but I'll call it as it is and say sportsmanship. We got a fast car coming through there. That's the 777 of Travis Daly. So he was one of the fast guys in amongst a lot of them guys trying to get a lap, and we'll talk about it right as the time's coming. We've still got about 10 minutes left, Sheafy. There's a few different ways you can take qualifying, mate. I'm one just to not set one, start from the back. The safest way for someone with my skill level. But what's sort of your train of thought when you come into an open quali like this? Do you get out, bank a lap? Do you get out with all the people, or do you just rather stick to yourself and don't worry about the draft as big hit to the wall by Daly?
Yeah, it depends obviously what the conditions are. I know sometimes in qualifying you're just out there by yourself, so you got to do the right thing for yourself and go from the get-go. Sometimes you get 10 minutes, sometimes only 2 laps. But with the V8 Supercars this season, I just racked in the full fuel. I made 2 mistakes in forgetting to put fuel back into the car, and short fueled myself in the first couple of races. So I'm like, nah, I'm happy with where I go, and I think it's a good thing as well, because once I get into the race, I already am used to the car being full tank, and it gets me in a real good situation as well, because I don't overdrive the car by accident, or I don't make a mistake and cause an accident. So I'd rather, if something I'm not really comfortable in, like the V8, I'd rather keep it safe than sorry. And I think a couple of the drivers at the back are probably the same, but I definitely know the boys at the front, they put 2 or 3 laps in tops, and they go 100% all the way through and go back in the pitch and do it all over again.
Yeah, I've seen that as well in some of the the top premium or premier supercar series, Scops, Logitech, and a couple of the others like that, where there's silly buggers because the guys are that quick that they drive around like almost the tyres barely rotating as we see a car just into the wall. Get that out of your system, mate. And then they'll just give it one cracking lap, and then they'll just exit, or they'll do an out lap, and then they'll go back in, put only just enough to an out lap and the flying lap and an in lap, and then they go back in, change tyres, and put some more fuel in. That was almost a good drift. He almost held it, but we heard the sound effects hit the wall on the other side as he just exits out of that. Hopefully we don't see that in the race. I do know that an early safety car is on the card, so I haven't unpacked it. I don't know what happens, but I do know that there's an early safety car on the cards, mate. But 24.3 fastest out there at the minute. I do envision that'll come down. Only one driver to be in the 23s in practice. Surely there'll be a couple more as they get a little bit confident with their banker laps that they're putting in now.
Yeah, and also as well with that, it's very hard to get a real quick lap. Like we did see in practice at 23.9, but when you do it in qualifying, if you see like what Dylan DeBono just did just then, when you tag the wall, you get 0x, it does cancel your lap, which is very unfortunate because it's not really an off track, you know, like Phillip Island, for example, where you go off on the grass and you know that's it. You know, it's like driving at Monaco. You know, you got to hit the wall somewhere, and I do hope in the future that iRacing could be a little bit more lenient, because realistically, if you touch the wall, like it's not really a benefit. It's more of a detriment because you know you will damage your car. You know, you slow down because you hit the wall. So hopefully in the future we can see the driver be able to push the car to the limit, but keep it as clean as possible.
Yeah, 100%. And these guys, I'm going to be very, very surprised if a few big names don't have a few big, you know, offs here, because what we're seeing in qualifying at the moment, we're around about the halfway point, 8 minutes out of 15. A lot of these big names. Jamie Davis just tapped the wall. This lap will be deleted. Chris Burridge, he's just exited out. Dylan DeBono, yeah, his lap will be deleted. And, well, I could probably hold the cameras where I just had them and watch everyone hit that wall. So I'm confident we'll see a 23, but I think you need a lot of luck on this track, because it's looking like it's hard to put down a lap. 23s in practice seemed like it was the go-to, but maybe it's the 24.3 from Jamie Davis that we're seeing now.
Yeah, definitely correct. That was just see Chase Douglas out there on track as well. He loves pushing the car to the limit, but then again, it's just so hard to do it because all it takes one light little love tap on the wall, as you see there. Maybe get a 0x, hopefully gets away with just like a netcode type thing, and his lap counts. But it's just, yeah, the limit is very, very tidy at Chicago. I know a lot of drivers do struggle when that happens. And there's a few other tracks as well. Bathurst is another one. I did watch the top 10 shootout earlier in the season, and I think 4 drivers missed out on the time because it's just that one slight tap on the wall up the top of the hill, and that's it. You know, you got to call your day there and then. So it's very crucial just to keep it nice and clean, but push it to the limit without touching it. But that's the difficult task of not touching the wall.
Yeah, we had a conversation off air before we went live for this one, and I think Tom Freeman was still in the chat. Connor Nixon was still in the chat after the one we done earlier this morning, Chiefy, that when you look in real life, if you're good enough still to make your pole position when you off track. Now, you've obviously got to make the difference between an off track cutting the corner or an off track, you know, your mistake, but it's not, you're not getting an advantage. I'm sure that's why they haven't brought it in yet, but you see people hit the wall or you know, a little bit of a mistake in the Supercar Series or in real life series, and that lap time still counts. Obviously, if they curb strike or something like that, they seem to take an advantage, then that's not counted. But if you just scrape a wall, call it a 0x if you will, then you can, and you're still good enough to put it on P1, you still get that time. I know it's a game, it's a sim, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be a lot of work for iRacing to get that right, hence why we haven't seen it in iRacing. I think everyone knows now, like, they won't introduce anything regardless of what their users think of them until they get it done perfect. 2 years ago, well, close to 2 years, we've been waiting on rain. It's still not perfect. They haven't brought it out. We give them a lot of shit for it all the time, but you know, we know that there's reasons behind they haven't bought it out, and that's because it obviously isn't perfect, and that's why we all love iRacing, I think, is their eye for detail and their strive for perfection. A little bit like our fearless leader too, Sheafy.
Yeah, definitely correct on that with the rain. I know everyone's like, oh, the rain's going to come, but it's taken a bit of time, and they have teased us a fair bit, but I'd rather someone take their time and develop it correctly, so when it comes in, it doesn't screw people over. It's the most important thing. I think a lot of people nowadays are getting sick and tired of game developers bringing out the game. It's so buggy, it doesn't work properly. You know, you do lose support and customer base from it. So I know iRacing, as much as they want us to be able to have rain and have a bit of fun in it, they know that they'd rather take the time and keep the customer base happy, going, look, we're going to do this and we're going to do this properly. And obviously we're all thankful for that.
Yeah, we're definitely thankful. Jamie Davis, 24-0, still yet to be beaten, as you see a car just pull over. And that's what I love about this series, mate, the showings of sportsmanship you're just seeing there, people pulling away, getting out of the road. You can, you know, although if they block, race control, we spoke about this earlier, race control will throw the book at you, but, you know, for you to just pull out of the way, like most of these guys will, without even thinking of the race control sort of rulings against you, they want to get out of the way and not hamper anyone else's championship. Another wall getting clipped by your teammate 03 Dylan De Bono, really struggling to get the time down. 24-7, mate. He's your teammate, 24-7. Do you think he'd be happy with that? Because Dylan De Bono, although he's in the AMs here, I reckon he may be getting a little bit of a boost next season. 124.7. I think he's probably a couple of tenths off his pace.
Yeah, for Dylan, you know, obviously this is pretty much a brand new track for him on, you know, just in general, but that could be for a lot of drivers as well. We don't know how many laps they put in, but for sure, he's a very competitive young man, but a lot of us are competitive, and I think for him, you know, fighting for a top 3, first full season in the AMs, I don't think he's done a full season before in the V8 Supercars, but I think he'd be very happy with the top 3. I know that he finished P3 in G86s and the Formula 3, so he's been pretty consistent this season, but when you P3 in 3 series, I think you'd rather try and push for a championship win.
Yeah, well, let's see what he can do at the end of it, and let's see if he can get that win, or even challenging for a win is good enough. Davis, Kennedy, Rattler, they're your 3 at the minute, 24-0, 24-527, 24-573. So apart from that time from Jamie Davis, which is sort of out on his own there, half a tenth on the field, the field spread is not too much. So what have we got from second down to ninth? There's 0.4 of a second in that, and then there's a massive big group of drivers in the 25s, mate. So let's get into it, because we don't have as much time as we did for the IMSA Shadow Series to get on with it, and this is how it is. It's the championship round, the simrigs.com Amateur Series. I didn't change that logo, so ignore that logo up the top left. I might even just go, all right, see you later. I'll change that on the fly. Jamie Davis, he got pole position, 24-0, alongside Stephen Kennedy. That was about 3 laps ago that Stephen Kennedy made it into position number 2, Sheafy. And then on the second row, Crosby and Rattler. So M1 Racing got 2 cars in the top 4. Vanderkran and Burridge will have 3rd. Dooley and Whitaker will have the 4th, and Douglas and De Bono will have, De Bono and Douglas, reading it from the other way, will be the top 10, Chief.
Yeah, definitely that would be very interesting to see what the battle's going to be like, but you do got Mark Horton and Travis Daly starting in the 6th row, followed by them it is Andrew Cowan and John Gallen. Marty Hansen is followed by Sean Nizaka, while Simon Haynes and Doug Gowans is in the 9th row. Mitchell Miller and Peter Pavlik rounding out the top 20 with Brett Taylor and Troy Sipple. You got Scott Weston and Mark Clifton in the 12th row. Followed by them, it is the Craig Healy and Stephen Martin. So you got Joshua King and Marty Mitchell on the grid with myself and Greg Barber as race control / safety car.
Safety car. We will get all over that. If that safety car goes into the wall at any time, then we'll be right over it. I don't think it does though, so we won't be looking out for it too much, Sheafy. But belated broadcast all the same. It is the championship round, simrigs.com, V8 Supercar Amateur Series, and I'll tell you, amateur on paper, not on the track. The revs rise, Barney waves the flag, Jamie Davis gets us away for the final round. A little bit of a slow start, a stalled car, in fact, off the grid. Let's have a look. Can we get around? Davis, Kennedy, Van Loon, Crosby, Vanderkram, Whitaker. And we all looked pretty good so far. I'm not too sure. Oh. And we come down the straight. What a start from Jamie Davis, mate. Jamie Davis led Steve Kennedy and Van Loon. Well, we're getting squirrely. The bumps are starting to take effect now, Sheaf.
Yeah, Jamie Davis done a real good job, getting almost a 2-second head start against the guys behind. So, unfortunately, the boys behind Davis have to work as a team now to try and catch up to him, especially with Whitaker is trying to fight for a championship position, the same as De Bono as well, looking further back from them. So it's very important to keep it nice and clean, but it was, I believe, either Jay Douglas at the very start that unfortunately couldn't get off from the get-go, so he's lost a lot of positions there.
Oh, the 03! Oh, the 03 of Dylan De Bono. That was some driving there. All but sideways. Didn't make contact though. Vanderkran is behind him. He really wants to get all over him now. Vanderkran, if you give him a sniff, he'll take the whole thing. Vanderkran, Burridge, Cowan. And these AMs, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the only thing amateur about them is the series. Look at the timing, orange and yellow. Dooley's in the pit lane. I'm guessing he's got some damage. And here's this mid-pack that we were talking about. Oh, he shows the nose down the inside. I think that's Peter Pavlovic. Brett Taylor's behind him. Nick Clifton. A couple of other drivers. There's Scotty Weston, Troy Sipple. They're hitting those walls again. Craig Healy, Mark Horton. A little bit squirrely through there. Back up the top though, because Davis is pulling away. Dooley and Daly in the pit lane now, but I see a yellow and black M1 car of, who is that a little bit further back? I thought it was Kennedy, but it's not. It's Burridge.
Burridge, yeah. Ooh, a little bit sideways there for Vanderkran. Unfortunately, got a lot of pressure now with Burridge all behind him, but yeah, Cowan's got a real good start as well. He's up in the top 10 now. This is for top 10 into heat number 2, so yeah, very critical just to try and get that top 10 finishes. To see two drivers just follow each other straight into the wall, I don't think you really want to follow the leader there. As you see, Cowan under a lot of pressure from Hansen trying to make a dive, but Hansen backed out, thinking just to keep it nice and safe. He's still got 17 minutes to go, but setting up to lap number 3 now, just will take his time. You just put Cowie under a lot of pressure. That's all you got to do, you know. Some drivers cannot cope with it. As you see, a few drivers from the exit of turn 1, all a little bit sideways, fishtailing there, but they're definitely not Fizzy Motorsports, so I don't know why they're fishtailing out in that corner, but see another driver of Healy in the pit, so there might be a little bit of damage for a couple of cars out there, but so far really nice and clean considering how tight this track is.
Yeah, it is. They are keeping it nice and clean, and I'll tell you, when we just watched those two cars go into the wall just a few corners ago, and I think that's just, the walls are that close and you're that committed, you can't see. All you can see is your competitors' brake lights. It's Cowie, bit of a mistake from Cowie, gets Taylor. Oh, big connection there from the 126 and the 243. Who is that? That's Simon Haynes. had nowhere to go, but I know you're watching. Paul Young's in the comments. Can you explain the difference between Pro-Am and AM? Yeah, next season, no worries, mate. So I'm pretty sure if they work as last season, Sheafy, correct me if I'm wrong, you sign up and then you got a grading day. So you'll have certain rounds where you go through and pretty much don't take the piss. You want to be paired up with the drivers at your skill level to make it easier and more competitive for everyone. So pretty much you sign up, you go for your gradings, and you get clarified between amateur, pro-am, or pro. And I do believe that next season amateurs will be pro-am, and next year's pro-am will be exactly that, pro-am. So if you're in that middle category, Sheafy, I believe you can get two for the price of, well, you can if you want race 2 series in the one category.
Yeah, definitely correct with that. So Sunday will be the pro and the pro-am, and the Tuesday night, like today's race will be the pro-am and the am classes. So if you want to race on the Sunday, you have to, like, even if you're an am driver, you have to nominate to be a pro-am driver. Unfortunately, we'll not be accepting am drivers individually into as a class, and then a pro-am on a Tuesday. So you got to be a pro-am to be able to race both nights, but the AMs are still sticking to the Tuesday night, and the pro drivers are still sticking to the Sunday night. So yeah, definitely there will be some qualifications. I know a lot of the drivers have been driving for a while, so we know what they're like and we know where they're going to be graded, but definitely for the newcomers, do make it to qualifying days, because it will not only make it more fun for you if you get to race against the people at your natural speed. Last thing you want to do, just take everyone to the cleaners, and if you do try to do that, you'll be pretty much promoted from the get-go. So, and it's also, yes, it is open setup as well, so you can bring in your own team setup, and yeah, off you go.
And I tell you, one driver that was very promptly promoted was one of your teammates, Dylan De Bono, and that wasn't through him taking the piss. That was him just being, I don't know, maybe just given the benefit of the doubt. Let's throw him in there, and then I think he wiped the floor with him. He goes, "No, you don't. Get up there." And I think he lasted 1 or 2 rounds, mate, and straight into the upper skilled guys, and well, rightly so, because I think he was pretty close in that championship as well. I think that might have been Whitaker, all but straight through there. Whitaker, he's having a little bit of an, no, that's Dylan, sorry. Yeah, it was Dylan, just make that little mistake. He's struggling a little bit here, your teammate, Dylan De Bono, struggling to keep the track under his rear.
Yeah, it's a big difference when you're racing at boys that, you know, based with a Fiat Supercar team. We're not really a Fiat Supercar team, we're just a bit of everything. So we do our long endurance for the GT3s, you know, we race the Formula 3s, we race the GR86s. This season, myself and Dougie, you know, decided to jump on board and have a crack at the V8s, and Dylan decided to join us as well for the season, which was awesome. But yeah, we're definitely not comfortable like the likes of the Fissy Motorsport M1s, anything like that. So when we get a good result, you know, we're pretty proud and chuffed about it, but we just go out there to try and survive for the day, to be honest.
Yeah, that's, I think, everyone's goal in a supercar, and I've said it from day dot, mate, that this car is, or these cars, supercars, this category would have to be the hardest on the platform. But that's my opinion. I can't drive. Every car's hitting that wall. Have a look at that left rear. Oi! The 2-2 of who was that? That was one of the M1 cars, maybe Crosby, I think. But all but sideways. Dylan De Bono, though, he's gonna lose this side of the car. Let's get a closer look at this. Oh, not this one. This one. Oh.
It's like how close he gets into the corner. Oh, jeez.
That was rough. Don't do that. Don't do that, Pete. You're not fancy pants. That looked rough. But I was trying to give you a look at the shape of that side of the car, but let's not do that. In our top 10, Davis, Rattler, Kennedy, Crosby, Whitaker, De Bono, Burridge, Gallen, Hansen, Cowan. Yet to see a safety car yet as well, mate. So Andrew Cowan, one of our very own here at SRW TV. Oh, clipping that wall. That's a favourite. They should just move it back a metre and no one will hit it because they're only scraping it. That one too, very messy down the outside of that. But wow, yeah, these guys are pushing. Lap 7 of 17. Well, it's a heat race too. I forgot about that. 20-minute sprint and then a 40-minute feature. Better late than never, I suppose, Sheafy. But these guys, wow, they're turning it on.
Mate, when you're talking about the walls, if you put them 1 metre away, they won't hit it. I'm sorry, but you can put it 10 metres away and people will still manage to hit the walls out there. It's just the way how people drive. They just push the car to the very limit. But as you can see, there's a lot of pressure with Cowie for the top 10 position. That's the last invert spot as well. So there's a lot of pressure with Dougie Gowans and Mitch Miller as well. Very close. Just trying to make him crack under pressure, and it's very easy to happen. We did see that happen earlier on lap 3 with Cowie. Just a little bit loose in turn number 4, and all of a sudden 2 other drivers collided, and that did take out one of the cars out there as well. It was a lot of damage, but just see there, just there's so much pressure there, just no room for mistakes. Just trying to push the car to the limit, and then just got to be really careful. But if you do make a mistake, I'd say for example Cowie makes a mistake, poor Dougie and Mitch, they have nowhere to go.
Well, it's definitely the dead opposite track of what we broadcast yesterday at Phillip Island, because we mentioned yesterday afternoon at Phillip Island that, you know, you could run off track and the only thing is going to be hurt is your track position. Here is the opposite. Well, it's not the opposite. Your track position is going to be hurt majorly, and your car is going to be hurt majorly as well, and then you're going to have to go down the pits. So even though it might take you a year and a half to drive on the grass back onto the track at Phillip Island, that's still the lesser of the evils, because there's no tyre barriers around here if you have a look either. Sheafy, they're all hard concrete barriers. So if you hit them, yeah, it's not very forgiving, and your spine will hurt here. Oh, 100%. That's even if you don't hit the wall, because it's just the undulations, the bumpiness of the track. I remember being in earthworks years ago, and your back would be hurting when you're digging shale. So same thing here when you're a race car driver around bumpy tracks like this.
Yeah, so Jamie Davis is in the lead, a good commanding 3.5 seconds in front of Rattler. Rattler just got a 1 second gap between Stephen Kennedy. You see all the cars behind. Unfortunately, Kennedy had a lot of pressure with his teammate Crosby, and then followed by that is Whittaker de Bono as well, very close behind their bumpers. So a lot of pressure is on the drivers ahead, fighting for those many points on offer. But we do got a 40-minute race straight after this, so you don't really want to bend the car too much, because you're in the top 10, you're in the invert, you still get good points, you still put yourself in a good position. But if you make that one mistake, fall out the top 10, and that could be your night and championship over.
Well, when you don't have another round, do you, after this, to sort of go, all right, it's a bad mistake, bad round, we'll write that off. There's De Bono with a big tank slapper. Chris Burridge also, I do think he did. Look, he's carrying a lot of damage. I'll change this view. Carrying a lot of damage on that top left. Front left. Oh,
yeah, he hit the ball real hard.
That's going to be slowing him down 100%.
Beatrice from TV tried to go into the pit to stay out. He decided to stay out, so he believes he's quick enough to hold the guys behind. Well, there's 13 seconds of gap, so he probably knows that P6 onwards, unless the cars in front crashes, he's happy with the P7, which is still a good amount of points. Just see all the other cars following through. Oh, another car straight to the wall.
Yeah, that's. I think that is that Peter Pavlovich. I think he's come really close to the walls lately. I think that it's the it's the 09. It's Gowans. Is that the same driver you were thinking of? I think it was Gowans, wasn't it? Oh, it's another hit by that 44. It's a good battle here. Look at Jace Douglas right on the back of Smith. Shows the nose, working those mirrors. I tell you, when you got a bright car like that, he'd be, it's easy to work the mirrors left to right, making sure he's looking at your car, not where he wants to go. See him, he's working the mirrors well, isn't he? Shows it, gets it down there. All he needs is an overlap, and he does have that. Let's see if he can get this job done.
I do see the boys commenting how tough it is at the track at Chicago. It is. I only did a few practice laps. I didn't get to do the race, but I definitely noticed all my teammates were absolutely knackered after it. It's just so demanding. Even though you're only racing for 60 minutes and you have a 10-minute break in between, but oh, gee, that is definitely some contact to the wall there from Peter Pavlik. But yeah, as you can see, I don't think anyone has one panel that hasn't touched the wall yet. It's just absolutely amazing how far they push the limit.
And they're not discriminating, are they, between which side? It doesn't matter. You go left, you're hitting the wall. You go right, you're hitting the wall. And these guys are doing a good job to keep their cars relatively quick, even though they don't look straight.
Yeah, definitely quick now. We're seeing comments saying definitely lost me Pelican out there. Yeah, I definitely know the Pacific Esport Racing, they did not have Pelicans after the end of both races, unless they did a fast repair for the last lap. But it is absolutely amazing how tight these guys want to keep nice and clean. You know, from P10 all the way down to P15, just all within each other. Same thing up for P3 as well,
yeah,
4-car battle as well.
Yeah, Whitaker, I think that's Crosby, and I think Gowan's up there as it's the 216 machine. Is it 216? I can't see the number in my thing. He might be an out of sequence car, unless it's saying 216. I can't see it on the timing though, which is weird.
Yeah, the 216.
Oh yeah, it is. It's Pavlik. I've got him selected. Yeah. I've got him selected. That's weird. Can't find him, and I have him selected. Top 10, Davis, Rattler, Crosby, Whitaker, DeBono, Kennedy, Burridge, Gallen, Hanson, and Cowan. Although we're loving this battle, I think we should go check up on your guy and these top boys. They're having a good go. Bit of a lock-up from DeBono and Rattler now. Davis, 3.6 seconds over Rattler. Crosby's even got a second lead over Whitaker now. Just balancing that act on the round about that 0.9 of a second.
I do got to say, watching this race, I don't think one driver did one lap without even touching the wall. You just see puff and puff of smoke on every corner that they go by. So definitely just pushing the cars to the limit, just trying to get that time as well. Like you see, Jamie Davis, he is in contention for a championship. The same thing with Matt Whitaker as well. So just crucial points as well. So you can just see them pushing the car to the limit, trying to catch up to the cars ahead. I know Jamie Davis trying to get away from the cars behind, but Matt Whitaker, he's trying to make as many positions as possible. And Dylan DeBrone putting a lot of pressure on him, under 4 tenths now. Just pushing the car to the very limit now, just approaching to the final corner now. But yeah, it's amazing. Just DeBrone breaking rule 8, getting right on his bumper, but good extra speed from Matt Whitaker. He had good traction and gave himself a little bit more of a breathing room before turn 1.
Yeah, he's good under brakes in the DeBono, although Whitaker's he's keeping him fresh, he's keeping him honest. Let's jump on board because I feel a move is coming. Dylan DeBono though looking a little bit impatient. I can see in the body language of that car, mate. He's got to keep his head about him. Here he goes, he's going for it. He's going to go around the long way around. Whitaker, the 823 Fishy Motorsport machine, holds him out there. They got to be careful. Make a little bit of contact into the wall. Whitaker, the loser out there, manages to keep it off the wall though. Race control would have been busy. I'm not too sure of the ruling there, but definitely courage from both drivers.
Yeah, I thought I was in the box for race control. That's the first I've actually seen about that. So I believe that they think it's fair play. Not one driver reported that, so I think Whitaker just was very unlucky with that situation there. But he's still in the top 6. He's still just only a couple of tenths behind Kennedy. So I know he lost 2 positions, but he can reclaim one of them before the last lap comes out.
Yeah, I think that was just a case of both drivers competitive and the competitive nature of this track, and it's hard to keep it to straight. And there's a little bit of contact possibly, pushed each other to and fro, but it would have been hard to rule against that because I think both drivers had a part in it. But they adjudicated, play on, And it's good too as well. I'd much rather more leagues do that. Let it play on. Let the drivers sort it out on track, obviously, within the rules. It's Cowie now. Oh, sorry, that's Jace. No, it is Cowie, rather. It's got the pressure all over him by Jace Douglas. White flag too, would you believe it? Blink and you miss it. Here we go, Cowie.
Yeah, Cowie's on the outside, Jason on the inside. They're both fishtailing out of turn one, trying to get as much traction as possible. Jace is trying to get those positions up. He knows that he wants to be in the points. I believe he's fighting for somewhere in the top 10 in the championship, just trying to get as many points as possible. But he's a little bit too far away from Peter Pavlik and Sean as well for top 10. But gee, these two are getting real close to each other.
Yeah, Peter Pavlovich just loses out on the approach of that corner. He's going to find himself a little bit vulnerable to Mitchell Miller as Peter Pavlovich. Oh, sorry, is that?
Jake Douglas.
Jace Douglas, sorry.
There. Yeah, it's a bit hard when a couple of cars do look very similar out there on track, but so Chase against fishtailing, but he has the inside line.
Oh, back to Jamie Davis. So this is the race. Let's jump on to back to the grid. Sorry, boys. Oh, we got to watch them go over the line, but we'll hold it here and let's see how close it was. But Davis, Rattler, Van Loon, Crosby, DeBono, Kennedy, Whitaker, and we'll watch some of these battles as they finish or have done finishing the line. But wow, there's Hansen, Smith, Pavlovich. Hey, there's Jace Douglas a little bit behind him. Apologies for the cameras as well. I'm using 2022 camera packs on a 2023 track. Doesn't seem to be optimum, but it's still better than the standard packages. Oh, what happened down there? What happened down there at the end of the on the last corner I just caught there, mate? I think it's maybe this Mick Clifton, possibly.
Yeah, it's very hard to see very far to back and see Mick Clifton with P20.
Yeah,
lost the back end, hit the wall. Oh, just straight into the wall. Fortunately lost a couple of positions there, but he made it back out there, but a fair bit of damage, and he maintained that position from the car, approaching the car from behind. But obviously you see Jamie Davis is a very happy man, finishing P1 in heat number 1, very crucial for the championship. It did allow him to either close the gap or get ahead. I'm not 100% sure where the points is alive at this time, but I know for sure this was very, very crucial in the battle.
Yeah, well, Jamie Davis, quite comprehensive victory as well, wasn't it? So Jamie Davis takes out the Heat 1, top 10 inverted grid for this one. So we'll just very quickly, we've only got we got a warm-up, so we can go through the results. I'll get you to check out Discord, keep an eye on that, drag anyone in, Sheafy, that wants to come have a chat, but I'll get these results up for our first heat for tonight, and we'll give you the overall standings, because, well, we've got a warm-up, we've got time to kill before we get into what will be the feature and the 2023 grand finale here at SRW TV, albeit we'll be live. Oh no, it is the last of 2023. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. So there's going to be a good race coming up next. But Heat 1 results, we just spoke about that, mate. Jamie Davis, 3.5 seconds, takes out the second last race of 2023.
Yeah, he definitely did that in front of Scotty Rattler in the Contempecky performance racing, followed by Darren Crosby, the last on the podium in heat number 1. Dylan DeBono finishing P4, followed by Stephen Kennedy. Matt Whitaker is sure, unfortunately lost 2 positions in the battle, but still in chance for the championship, followed by Chris Burridge. John Gallen is in P8, followed by Marty Hansen in 9th, and then last of the invert top 10 was Sean Nisdaka. Sorry if I butchered your name, mate, but yeah, it was well done for getting up to P10 as well. Good battles in the end. So we've got Peter Pavlik in P11, followed by Jason Douglas in 12th. Andrew Coward was in P13, followed by Mitchell Miller in 14th. Brett Taylor finished 15th, followed by him was Scott Weston. Peter Vanderkrant finished in P17, followed by Travis Daly. There was Troy Dooley in P19, and Mick Clifton rounding out the top 20 in front of his teammate Mark Horton. Craig Hilley with P22, followed by Doug Gowans. Joshua King finished P24 and Simon Haynes with 25th. Followed by them is Troy Sippel and Stephen Martin. That rounds out the field. The other three drivers either didn't make the track or they're the safety car. So, yeah, real good battles out there, left, right and centre, and I'm definitely looking forward for the next 40 minutes to see what exactly happens out there on the track.
Yeah, it's going to be good. 40 minutes. Well, your risk versus reward. Well, that gap that just widens out. For now, the 40 minutes between your risk and reward, you're going to see some pretty sensible driving. And well, I think all the same, one race without a safety car, and it was the only race that I didn't put a prediction in, Sheafy. So Murphy's Law strikes again for me.
But honestly, I've been banned from guessing the safety car this week, unfortunately. I knew exactly
when you know the answer,
Sheafy,
Sheafy, come on. When you know the answer, there's only one outcome, and yeah, just don't have a guess. But you know, you'll tell me, and I can have it. That's all right. But I get too many things wrong to start getting things right now, mate. So even if I did get it right, they'd be like, "Hang on a minute," that would smell a fish. Pardon the pun. But well, I'm waiting for this promo department safety car, mate, to bin it. I am, as you just tapped the wall there. But I do believe there is a bin coming in one of these practice sessions. I think I missed it. I think it was in the initial practice though.
Yeah, no, it was, like I said, it's very tight. I mean, if I had a chance to race the GT3, I might have been competitive on the night, but unfortunately that was not the case. I did the right thing, but I will let you know later on. I do got a secret to tell you about what happened in heat number 2, but we'll tell you there and then. But no spoilers for the people out there that haven't had a chance to watch this yet, but yeah, I do got to say, it's so hard to drive this car. I mean, I've never had to drive in Chicago before, never had to drive in GT3 here before. I had no setup for it, so I just chucked a random one on and prayed for the best. I definitely know after crashing into the wall in practice, I changed the setup straight away because the car didn't want to turn, it just went dead straight. So it's pretty awesome to be out there. Well, no, out there with the V8 Supercars and the warm-up and the practice, and just, yeah, it was interesting to see the different lines that the drivers took, and it was also interesting as well to see the difference between the two cars and the styles as well that you can approach with your driving.
It sure is, and don't stop talking there, Sheafy, because I'm going to take a pit stop myself. We've got a, is it 10-minute warm-up or 5, Sheafy?
It's a 10-minute warm-up, so we're
awesome.
a couple in, so halfway there.
Plenty of time. Well, Sheafy, although it's not the car that we're racing out on track for all intensive or content purposes, you're around about 20% through the lap. I'm going to shut up. How does a safety car drive around Chicago? Because it's tough in anything.
Yeah, no, I got a half decent time. I was in the mid-25s with my last lap. It's definitely a very good banker lap as well. First coming out, but as you can see, just trying to keep it nice and smooth, trying to use it as much as well, similar to a V8 Supercar. Coming to this corner here, I found it really difficult. It's very easy to overshoot straight into what we see there. I somehow missed it. If not, I might have just kissed it, but yeah, it's so difficult here. You see the car push coming out, there's so much understeer, and it's got to be real wary not to overshoot the corners. So I think it's nothing worse when you try not to hit a wall in a safety car. You know, you try to practice your left and right turns and not make a mistake, but I know for sure that people in the V8 Supercars probably had a hell of a lot more difficulty in this, because if the rear end goes up on them, they'll end up spinning around. We did see a couple of drivers losing a bit of control, fist handling around, like similar to Cowie's in lap 3, but it's pretty good. As you see as well there, you see the car coming out of the pits, which was Cowie. It was very scary that happens, because like in obviously the next heat, you most likely got to do a pit stop, or when the car gets damaged and comes out, it just came out of nowhere. So yeah, it's very scary, and you know, you want to be, you know, go full speed in that corner. They see Cowie just coming out there, and I'm just coming out full power right behind him. So yeah, just got to be real careful not to panic coming to turn 1. When you see a car come out, don't slam on the brake, just do your same thing, maybe cut a couple of K's off and you should be fine.
Yeah, and well, being the last race of the season, well, elbows are out, but also there's a championship on the line, and also these guys, well, they don't want to bin anyone out. They don't want to ruin anyone else's races. That's probably at the top of the list. They don't. These guys that we're commentating week in, week out, in fact, five nights a week, I do believe. I don't think they care about the rules. In obviously they want to follow them, but I'm not trying to call them all rebels in what I'm just about to say. But I don't think they care about the rules in the aspect of not taking someone out. If there was no rules, they probably still wouldn't take each other out. Is the point I'm trying to make, and the group of guys that we have here. So that's it's good to watch when you do make a mistake, or sometimes I used to have the radio chat. I may get back to doing that again if we can trust you, but I used to like hearing on the radio or seeing a mistake, and then before I even get to the mistake, there's an apology on the radio. So, you know, that's how quick they are to put their hand up and say, look, I stuffed up, that's all on me. And then race control goes, it was, mate, go for the walk of shame down pit road. So I think we do see a couple of penalties given out in the feature here, Sheafy, without giving too much away.
Yeah, there's a potential. But no spoilers. It's a bit like the Avengers all over again. Don't want to spoil it for everyone. I know a few people out there watching might have not had the chance to watch these boys go around, so it could be nice and fresh for them. But it's definitely so interesting because, like I said, there's a championship up for grabs. You know, Whittaker and Davis are fighting for P1 overall. I know De Bono's up there as well. You know, in the top three. You know, he's hoping that the two boys ahead make a massive mistake and you capitalise on it, and you know, play for an almighty point difference. But it's just so crucial just to keep it nice and clean as possible. We know it's been 9 weeks now. You've been racing against the boys week in, week out for a whole season, if not for longer. And you know, you just see they get so much more comfortable getting close to each other, doing the right thing, not taking each other out. We did see some awesome side-by-side racing, and if a mistake happened, they know it's a mistake. Like we saw between Whittaker and De Bono, they both put their hands up, go, mate, that could have gone either way. It's just a normal racing incident. Let's just continue racing. So pretty cool when they see that and they keep it nice and clean on track.
I think that ought to change that. So we got about 30 seconds to go. I'm going to see if I can be Mr. Quick and try and get this out of the way. But I might leave you to call the start of the race, and I'll get this logo back up. But it's going to be a great race. Remember the last one for 2023 and 2024. We've said a couple of times today throughout both the broadcasts we've done. The registrations, I do believe they're becoming public very soon. So if you're not a part already, if you're not a returning SRW member, jump on board when they go public, because it's going to fill up, and it's going to fill up super quick. And if you're one that haven't signed up yet and you are a returning member, you don't want to miss out. Jump on board and yeah, get amongst it, because it's definitely an awesome league, awesome bunch of blokes. And if you thought 23 was going to be better, was great. You should check out what our fearless leader has lined up for season 1 2024, Sheafy, and the grid's all yours to read out.
Yeah, so we've got Jamie Davis starting in P1, followed by Stephen Kennedy in P2. We've got Scotty Rattler in P3 and Darren Cosby in 4th. Chris Barrage in P5 and Peter Vanderkrant in P6. Matt Whittaker in 7th and Troy Dooley in P8. Dylan De Bono is in P9, followed by Jason Douglas in P10. Mark Horton is in 11th with Travis Daly in 12th, followed by Andrew Cowan in 13th and John Gallen in 14th. In 15th we've got Matty Hansen, followed by Sean Smith in 16th. We've got Simon Hames in 17th with Dougie Gowans 18th, followed by that is Mitch Miller in 19th, Peter Pavlik in 20th. I believe the green flag will be coming out very, very shortly. Unfortunately, it's only a 1 minute swap as we see Barney waving the green flag. Everyone's off and off we go again. It's going to be a very tight first corner. I definitely know a lot of people Got to push it last race. As we see, yeah, one car go driving through there, and there's contact as well. I believe that is Jamie Davis causing massive contact there.
Yeah, we'll go back, have a look at that start. I did get there. I've got the logo up there as well, and it will hold the cameras there. There's another car facing the other way, mate. So it's action aplenty here for the final round of 2023. But before we go any further, there's no events coming up, so we can't even get another look at it. So, well, we're off and running. Sean Smith leads this way. Hanson, Burridge, Whittaker, DeBono, Crosby, Douglas, Kennedy, Muller's your 10 as it stands. Remember, top 10 was inverted. Yeah, it looks like SDK were playing games with us and didn't do the top 10 invert properly, Sean has pointed out in the comment. But yeah, unfortunately, there's a couple unlucky drivers in turn 1, turn 2 in the first lap. It's just been spun the wrong way, and unfortunately got a long way to recover now. But a few drivers did capitalise on that with, Mitch Miller up in top 10 now, with Peter Pavlik up in top 10. Sean is now leading the race as well, so he'll be a very, very happy man. With all the other drivers behind, just causing a little bit of havoc. So he's done an awesome job to keep Chris Barrage ahead. Yeah, we've looked at this wall cam. I will get it when we're all close together. These guys are committed. Cowie down the inside, by the look at that. There was a battle. They're close to that wall. As they come around, very close. In fact, we see some smoke signals. The mid-pack's where it's at, top 10 inverted field, and we've got Kennedy a little bit further back. He's getting his mirrors a little bit tested by the 5 machine of Muller. And Peter Pavlovich, well, he's been strong in the battles all season, especially this round here at Chicago. They're all utilising their mirrors. I'm not too sure whether it's the pressure game they're playing this earlier on, or is it just the indication of the different lines that the drivers take, because although you don't have much of road to take a different line, these guys just try a millimetre to the left, a millimetre to the right, and see where they're comfortable. But these guys are pushing and pushing hard again with using a late camera pack here. It's pretty good. McDonald's has come on board as well. I think that's a new update. I don't believe that the McDonald's signage was on the last one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sheafy, but if that is a new inclusion, nicely spotted by me and nicely done by iRacing to get such a formidable company or corporation on board. As you can see, the track's rubbering up. I do believe the track state is carryover. A little bit of battling happening a little bit further here. I think that's true. I know who that is. Yeah, Troy Dooley with Cowan, a couple of them with Javis and Horton as well. So yeah, you were correct with the name. As you see, Dylan DeBono falling massively down the pack there. So it looked like he had a massive incident. He was in the top 5 now, it's all the way down to 20th. So I'm intrigued to see exactly what happened there. Yeah, nothing's on the SDK list as well, and I can't even grab a camera of him. So he's actually stopped on track near that McDonald's sign. It sucks that we missed it. Sucks I can't get a replay, but he's stuck there, and this may well be a safety car, mate, because and he's exited to pits as well. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's definitely a safety car. I have been deployed. I saw the pit stops. As you can see, it's just hanging out at the entry. So yeah, just safety car. How'd you go, mate? How'd you go? Do you bin at this one? Can I can I have fun? Maybe. We'll see what happens. I think I did a good job first time with a safety car out here in Chicago. So, well, you're doing better than my first safety car appearance, mate. I think we had 50 cars at Red Bull. No, it wasn't that. It was before. It was another one. There was a lot of cars anyway. And I actually drove off track, and the guys, they just kept going. They're like, well, the safety car's off track. And, well, that was round 1. Round 2, I was back behind the mic, so short-lived. So definitely a lot better your start than mine. Totally. Well, let's see if you get a second. Let's see if you get a second trip, mate, in the safety car to see if that was the case. But unfortunate we can't get that incident by Dylan De Bono. I'll tell you, you're his teammate, so we could probably get a little bit of an inside knowledge. At this point, I'm guessing you were in the race chat with him. What was his? He's obviously disappointed, but what was his sort of explanation with the incident, if you can remember?
I'm not, obviously I wasn't in the chat at this direct time.
Race control,
yeah, race control. But I definitely know he was gutted from the get-go. I believe it's a simple mistake that caused the incident, and he was fighting for top 3 in the championship. He wants to make sure that the drivers behind can't catch up to him. So for him at the moment, he's toasted the car. He's already got to be down a couple of laps, so yeah, it's very unfortunate there. So I think just not happy with what happened, but yeah, it's not the best way to start the week, Stella. So
no, well, this was a Tuesday night. This played out as well, and I'm going to get rid of TV1 because we'll get the updated track, I think, for this one, but. As it stands, lap 5 of 35 of the feature race, 40-minute feature, last of 2023 here on SRW TV. Schmidt, Burridge, Hansen, Whitaker, Crosby is your 5. Douglas, Kennedy, Muller, Pavlovich, and Weston is your top 10. And we got John Gallen down pit road, and a couple other drivers as well. Marty Mitchell, Greg Barber, Steve Martin, John Gallen.
There's still a lot of drivers out there, as you see, just one in the car going straight into the pits. I believe they just want to try and change up the strategy. If you're at the back, why not change the strategy a bit, put a bit more fuel in so you can try and undercut these cars ahead, maybe fuel save all the way, just make this one stopper from the get-go. So we definitely know that you can do 20 minutes non-stop on one tank, but to do maybe 32 minutes, if not 31 minutes on one tank, definitely pushing the limit. So I believe Gallen's just trying to do the undercut, hoping for another safety car that can put him in. As you see, the safety car, I believe, is driving away, so the racing will resume this lap. So it will be interesting to see what Sean does, to see the safety car hadn't crashed into the wall yet, so he's done a good job.
You did say yet, so let's ride on board. No, I was kidding. We're here to race. We're here to watch the race, not the safety car Bennett, and I'm sure he doesn't anyway. Smith, when will he go, is 75% through the lap. He's carrying a little bit of left-hand front damage there as well, Sheafy, so that may hamper him, and I think with the amount of damage he's got, he's definitely going to be down a little bit on pace as Sheafy, the safety car driver, has pulled away. And Smith's gone?
Yeah, very
nice
early.
and early.
Yeah, once he heard green flag, he just went, and obviously a smart play by him as well. I believe he caught a lot of drivers napping to see the gap already spreading throughout the whole field, so he's done a smart play there, but unfortunately Burridge was very alert and stuck right behind him, but unfortunately Hansen lost out there.
Yeah, he did lose out. Nice restart by Sean and co. The whole field looks to get away. There's a little bit of a battle with, I think that's Crosby. No, sorry, that's Whitaker. No, it could be even worse. That's Burridge. Chris Burridge gets Smith. Sorry for a little bit sounding too surprised, Chris, but Chris Burridge from M1 Racing just takes the lead of the races. And obviously he's a good driver, but that damage on the front left for Smith to maybe be proving a little bit more of a handful. Have a look at the front of that car, or the car actually, as they come down. Have a look at the bumps, Randy. Watch the front suspensions. Whoa, 6.6 at Crosby, I think that was. Oh, They're up on two wheels too, and you can see a little bump there on the approach there, so that's probably an added difficulty. A little bit of a bump, a little bit of a rise right on the apex, and yeah, it's causing some of these cars to get up on two wheels. So Burridge, Schmidt, Whittaker, Hansen, Crosby, that's your top 5 out of the restart, and we get away for another restart. Also clean so far, 10 minutes into 40, 25% done.
Yeah, definitely correct on that. You see, Sean is definitely sticking to the back of Chris. He's making sure that he doesn't lose the small minor draft, shall I say. And this is not the big long straight like we used at Phillip Island or Bathurst, but the draft is still a beneficial factor in this race, especially if you are losing a little bit of track position in the corners. As you see, Sean, a little bit of damage on the front left. I don't know how much it's affecting him, but he's definitely doing an awesome job to stick to the back with Chris. We just see a little bit further back, Jake Douglas putting Steve Kennedy under a lot of pressure, trying to get up in. Oh, sorry, it's actually David Crosby trying to get himself up to P5 in the battle. So he's doing an awesome job. He had a real good start at the moment in this race and gained a couple of positions, and just looking to try to get more and more positions along the way.
If we have a listen while we're on board with Jace Douglas here, he's up 4 from where he started. Listen to the throttle control for one. Very smooth on applying the power. Very smooth on the downshifts as well. You don't want a compression lock-up. And he just clears the throttle. It sounds like there's a couple of bumps over there. He just clears the throttle to remove any bit of wheel spin. Remember, 600 plus horsepower, no traction, none of that's good stuff. Oh, clips Aldous Crosby, so does Douglas. Very, very good throttle control from Jace Douglas there. Nice and smooth. 0.3 of a second Burridge leads over Smith. And then as we go a little bit further back, we've got Vanderkraan and a bit of a battle with Clifton behind. Yeah, right. Well, that's half a second. That's how close, sort of how quick this track is, because you wouldn't think that's, well, it's actually gone out now to a second, but when I first looked, it was half a second. So that's a second. That's still not a lot of track distance, really.
Yeah, definitely a lot more tighter here as well. Like, you look at it and go, oh yeah, they look a little bit further away than normal, but you look at the intervals, and when you're within half a second, depending on certain track, they either look too far, too close. But see the 410 there, got no rear bumper at all, so I believe that was the contact from lap number 1. And as you see, Taylor, but don't know if that was contact to the wall or just overshot the corner there, but good to see he got up and going again, but unfortunately lost a fair bit of time to the cars ahead, which allows Simon Haynes to put a lot more pressure onto him as well. And see Gallen as well up in P20. He did go for the pit stop at lap number 7, so he's definitely trying to put a bit of strategy in, as we see Taylor did go into the pit, so I presume that he copped a lot of damage from hitting the wall or hitting the car, or just maybe decide to go for an undercut. As you see,
fast repair was used. Fast repair was used, mate. Definitely cleaned up that. I did have I aimed to sort of have a look at the damage a little bit more than what I did, but I did see damage and I didn't. So fast repair was used, and it just backs up your call then. Must have been a little bit of damage. You don't use your fast repair unless you have to. The Burridge. And one that doesn't seem that he hasn't or doesn't need to is Smith. He's been carrying that front left damage for quite some time now. But have a look at the gap between Burridge Schmidt is making now over Whittaker, and Whittaker's not mucking around either. He's starting to pull a little bit of punches on the guys behind him of Hansen and Crosby.
Yeah, definitely for a championship contender as well. So Matty Whittaker is battling for P number 1, but he's Jamie Davis, his competitor, unfortunately got a black flag in this race for the contact in lap number 1. So he's further down the grid order right now and got a lot of catching up to do. So Yeah, down in P24 currently at the moment, that will give Whittaker the win for the championship. So keep an eye out and see maybe a potential safety car that can bring Jamie Davis back into it, or maybe a mishap with Matt Whittaker in the battle pack up ahead. So plenty on the tables to go and plenty of time to recover. So only 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, 25 minutes. We're well and truly over that halfway point, are we? So, or aren't we rather? So. This is how they are. Burridge, 0.3 of a second over Whittaker, Hanson, Crosby. That's your 5. And the battles here at Chicago Street Circuit, I thought there'd be a little bit more carnage than what there is. These guys must have been absolutely buggered, because everywhere we look, there seems to be little battles forming and shaping out this race. And I think we're going to feel the intensity lift when we get into the last 10 minutes. We still got around about 2 or 3 battles on screen. The closest one though is this one that we can just zoomed into now, led by, that's Whittaker in the the 023 or 823 rather. Hanson, he's up 11 for Hanson, up 14 for Smith. Here a couple of the movers, up 13 apiece for Weston and Clifton, up 12 for King. And unfortunate, the biggest loser is our pole sitter, Jamie Davis. Drive-through penalty sees him down 21 positions. I tell you, he'd be spewing.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be happy with that, but I believe he did start in P number 10, so only be 11 positions. So of course SDK played a bit of games with us in the top 10, so he didn't put people in the correct position, as a sword spotted when I was going through the grid. When I was going through it, I don't think this is right, but unfortunately I can only say what's in front of me.
Oh, that's it. You could have thrown me under the bus, and I can only give you. You can only read what I'm given as Crosby now. Gets around. Oh, look at that. Who's this? Oh. Was that Marty Hanson?
Yeah, Hanson and Douglas battling for P5 there, and just, oof. I think Hanson had to slam on the brake and try not to hit the wall then. He went a little bit too hot, but done an awesome job to keep his car in one piece then.
Struggling to get camera angles that actually fit. I thought I was doing okay, and when it comes to the pinch points of this track, it doesn't seem like they've changed the track much, mate, but I'll tell you, these cameras, the 22 version cameras don't like the 23 version track, so I'm going to look into it and see what extras we got with Chicago. Of course, if you want to save me any research, let me know if there's any changes in the comments. But let's have a look. What do we got? So we got Smith. That's the closest battle at the moment. He's really starting to put the pressure on Burridge now. Let's jump on board and let's see this unfold.
Putting a lot of pressure on him. Barry's done an awesome job there, keeping it nice and clean. Good traction on the exit as well, so he's giving a little bit of breathing room coming to the next corner. But Smith, as you see, just pushing it to the limit. I swear he almost touched that wall just then on the inside, and done an awesome job there. And that corner there, that just went past, is so difficult. Like, it was a bit of a bump. You don't really realise it until you saw a certain camera angle. I didn't realise it was that much of a bump, so I thought it was just me that couldn't drive a car for good, but thankfully everyone else was having the exact same dramas out there on track.
Yeah, I think that was that corner. Oh, tight pit entry there from Smith. I wonder whether he copped a bit of damage and then had to pit. It looked like a very late pit entry. I did see him come close to that wall around there, unless it was just a late decision. But, well, he's chosen to pull himself out of it, hasn't he, and get that fixed. We're going to see that car. Look at that. It's fixed. Fenatech's now visible. So he was putting the pressure on Burridge. I wonder how much damage he did have on that car, mate, because if he had a lot and he's just quick with that damage, I think these guys might be in a little bit of trouble come the pointy end of this race. As we go back to this battle, we have 0.9 of a second between still Douglas and Hanson, although Douglas is just pulled away a little bit.
Yeah, there's a bit of stuck in a sandwich there, Hanson, because you got Douglas up ahead and you got Kennedy right behind him, with both within a second on the time slot. So Yeah, as you can see just from the rear camera of Jay Douglas how black the front bumper of Hansen's car looks. So unfortunately, just maybe just a little bit of bumping on the maybe on the car or maybe on the wall, but yeah, these drivers just push it to the limit there, and just they're doing an awesome job. As you can see, Kennedy looks like he clipped a little bit, but there we go. Hansen, you can see his tyres on both of the front, so he's doing a couple of modifications on the car, trying to make it a little bit more aerodynamic and trying to get a bit more pace to catch back up Douglas. But, so he's got to be real careful though, because Kennedy is right behind him.
Yeah, we've got a bit of insight in chat. Thanks for that, F1 Gamer Dad. Late call to go in for the undercut on Chris. So I thought that was going to be the case. Some bunny buggers, but have a look at that car. It looks like a little bit of a weird ZB Commodore, doesn't it? But doesn't seem like he's hampering him. He's got that one fast repair, and you only have one, I do believe, Sheafy. So especially on a track like this, you need to make sure that your car's really that slow before you get it fixed, because if it's not and you go in and get it fixed and then you happen to tap the wall that may have been a little bit worse than what you had initially, you're going to be dirty and really dirty at yourself for using up that one fast repair as Cowan is in the lane now. Stephen Kennedy starting to turn up the wick.
Yeah, Kennedy's doing an awesome job just trying to put a lot of pressure on Hansen. As you can see, Hansen's car looks a little bit more like a triangle at the front, and just pumped the wall just again at the Macca's sign. So yeah, a lot of pressure there, and maybe a little bit of damage that's not helping him at all, just keeping it nice and clean. But awesome battle so far. You know, strategy comes in as well. Are they waiting for another safety car? They waiting to empty out the tank fully. So who's going to bite the bullet first to go into the pits? Maybe they know a bit of information that if they go into the pits now, they're going to get stuck in traffic. Oh no, and Hansen just lost control there coming out of turn one, and that's put him, I don't know how many positions back, going down to P8 now.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was looking at my other screen, so I think maybe a little bit of front end damage. He might be getting a little bit, well, that would be hampering his aero for sure. So maybe a little bit of aero wash with that damage is sort of washed him out there, but that car doesn't look healthy, and just by that little mistake, I thought it might not have been that bad. The car might have been handling it rather, but it looks like he too is just struggling a bit.
Yeah, to say, yeah, unfortunately lost a couple of positions there, but he's still in the top 10 positions. Definitely looks like the car maybe can have a nice, good, fast repair and just allow him to be a lot more quicker out there on track and try and regain a couple more seconds that he just lost. But Sean is currently P9, 15 seconds clear in front of him, with the only closest person Doug Goward behind him, P10. So he's done an awesome job to put himself in a real nice, good position here. You see Darren Crosby jump into the pitch. It'll be very interesting to see where he pulls out. But remember, Sean pitted in lap 12, so 4 laps earlier than anyone else. So he'd be pretty close to pushing it to the fuel limit. Depends if he decides to underfill or not. But it'll be interesting to see where Darren Crosby and how much time he'll lose here coming to the pitch. But you can see that yellow car in the pit is still there. Now you can see Sean coming across the finish line, coming to turn one. See Crosby just coming out the pit, but just not enough. But he put himself in a good position. I believe he put himself a lot more closer to where he originally was before Sean came into the pit. So done an awesome job there and put himself in a real good position for a top 3 finish.
Yeah, well, he's put himself there. He's going to have, remember with these supercars, the tyres, you got to get there on fuel, but you also, you don't have a big window on your tyres on any track, and in this track, especially, probably not that much. We've been seeing lots of lockups, lots of oversteer moments as well, and the tyres on these supercars, they just do not last in real life, and on the sim, you'll be feeling some tyre deg now. Our race leader, he's pulled his punches, he's in the pit, so let's have a look where he is. I'll freeze the cameras here. We'll wait for Smith to come around now. So Smith is the next contender with to Burridge, I do believe, or before Smith come into it. So Smith still.
Yeah, we see Kennedy and Bowes coming in, and see Smith coming out of the last corner now with Crosby right behind as well. So now approaching turn number 1, and it looks like Bowes got a real good exit there, and that's where he gained a position there. So awesome job there from Bowes, and he was only 0.2 seconds slow on the pitch, so he's done a phenomenal effort in clean traffic to gain a lot of time ahead of Smith. If not, it was actually a 3-second gap between the two of them, so that's a phenomenal effort there. And well, the overcut worked for Bowes, and unfortunately Sean couldn't get the undercut working for him.
He couldn't get it. 37.8, so this is control line to control line in the lanes. I'll switch it over to service time in a minute, but the time it took through the lane for Burridge was 37.8. Time it took in the lane for Smith was 38.2. I'll check at the pit time, so this is the amount of time stopped in the lane. Burridge 11.7, Smith 12.0, so 0.3 of a second. Burridge was shorter in that stop, so he's gone a lap or 2 laps later. So let's have a crack at this. It should be a good battle for these 3 at the end, Burridge, Schmidt and Crosby. Crosby still putting the pressure on, and I tell you, Smith, everywhere he looks, is black and white M1 cars.
Yeah, the 3 drivers of Whittaker, Douglas and Hanson is gone into the pit. They were 1, 2 and 3 before this lap, so you can see right here, just 2 original leaders just approaching turn 1 and got ahead of all 3 of them. So phenomenal effort from Bowes and Smith just to get ahead of the group there, and with a lot of time about up the sleeve. As you see, Whittaker, Douglas is out in the pits, and Hanson just coming out the pitch now. So phenomenal effort at the moment, just putting a lot of pressure on each other there with strategy. And looking at the times, see, it looked like Daly and Gowan's gone with a 9-second stop, so I'm not 100% sure if that's gone for a full underfield there or that happened before the safety car. So a little bit of strategy is being played around, but an awesome battle so far with Sean quick at the moment, quick is out there on track for this race, but a lot of pressure with Crosby approaching him very, very quickly.
And that's the thing too, what Crosby would be aware of is that Smith right now, knowing that Crosby would have done tyres because, well, why wouldn't you, it's covered under fuel, that Smith really wanted to capitalise on the cold tyres, and Crosby knew that. Crosby at the moment would probably be feeling a little bit more comfortable, but straight out of the pits, he knew that, well, I've got to just go, even if the tyres are a little bit cold, I've got to go, because Smith knows he's a good driver. So Crosby, he's been pushing on cold tyres since he left pit. He's probably feeling a little bit more comfortable now, and watch this this gap of, what's that, about half a second between these guys diminish.
I do got to say, Mitch Miller, who's currently provisional P1 at the moment, is 8 seconds ahead of Chris Bowes. He's the only driver that hasn't gone into the pitch so far, so he's done a phenomenal effort with fuel saving. I believe he's trying to wait for a potential safety car just to bring him really deep into this battle, but just got to be really careful not to make a mistake here. But with the Pecky's car right behind him, it just put him a bit under pressure, but he is in the lead, and that Pecky's car is a lap down, so I believe they will do the correct thing and make sure they don't make contact with each other. But the battle is on at the moment. Strategies are flying everywhere. I know for sure Whittaker is a very, very happy man currently in P5 ahead of Jamie Davis at 11th position, which should put him back into P1 in the championship. So currently, as it stands, he will take out the championship if nothing else happens.
You can see, them cars. Oh, there's that bump you're talking about. I might even go for a little bit of fly here. Here's that bump you alluded to. And you watch, all the cars are gone. Oh, look at it. There we go. Just right on the apex, and it's pushing the car and pitching it up on 2 wheels. And it actually pushes you towards this wall here, as we've seen, I think, was it Whittaker earlier on, or a couple of drivers, I think they had a side-by-side battle through there as well. I think it was Whittaker, a few laps, or quite a few laps to go as we move in. It's 30 minutes done. We've got 10 to go, or 15-minute laps. 15 laps rather. I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get the laps done today.
No, normally the laps never happen. On a very rare case it does, but it's normally we always, if we have no safety car, normally 1 lap or 2 lap under. So we did see the safety car here. So maybe you're pushing for 30 laps. Here you see Grandpa Goward's under a lot of pressure from Daly, and Daly came in on the inside there. But I believe. Oh, gee, Daly smacked the ball, and
heavy contact.
I wouldn't be surprised if that front left suspension busted, but he's still going though. He's doing an awesome job to pick back up to speed, but unfortunately lost 2 positions there. But I'll be interested to see the repercussions of hitting the wall there.
It doesn't look like he's got much cosmetic damage. I had a quick look there. It doesn't look like he's got much cosmetic damage at all, but that was a heavy hit into the wall, and oh no, he has got damage there. Oh yeah, that front left is looking pretty worse aware, but he shares the sediment with probably most of the field as Chris Burridge retakes the lead of this race. Mitch Miller is in pit road. Oh no! Burridge out of the pit lane. Retake. Oh, sorry, he was out of the pit lane already the lap before, into the wall. Hopefully he didn't have too much damage on that. It was a softish impact. Darren Crosby, though, it is another M1 car to take that position off him. Chris Burridge would be absolutely dirty. Have a look at his car. Let's have a look at his car, mate. Oh, it'd be. It's stuffed. Look at it. The top of the front right.
Car, man. He has lost horsepower. He's flying down the pecking order from the time of his Crosby and Sean Smith now. Like, he's 3.2 just counting. Couldn't even get into the 5th gear there, so it looks like he's definitely damaged the engine there. He's lost at least a minimum 200 horsepower. And, I feel gutted for him. He did an awesome job, brilliant strategy. Just overshot turn 1, and you can see how quickly your race can just turn upside down here at Chicago. One small, simple mistake, and that is your race done and dusted. So I feel gutted for him. He was doing an awesome job out there.
Oh, I did, and I love the bloody looks of the cars as well. The M1 cars. We needed 2 on the podium. Crosby's there to keep Smith honest though, but Burridge, he was looking close, and yeah, I thought that would be the case. But let's have a look. Righto.
We've got a safety car.
Oh, safety car. What's happened?
I'm not 100% sure what's happened here, but I believe that is me right ahead coming to turn 1 with the safety car. So you can see Doug going in, you can see Daly going in, Burridge going in. So that's actually real good news for Burridge, because under safety car he shouldn't lose too much time there. So, and it allows him to go back into the pack there. So as much as he was very unlucky in turn 1, he's actually had a little bit of luck and get brought back with all the others in. But that does allow the likes of allows Davis back into the pecking order for the championship. He's now up to P13, and with the safety car, it gives him a good potential to get more position to try and pinch P1 in the championship.
Well, they say you need some element of luck, don't they, in racing? And I tell you, Burridge, he got a little bit of both. He had bad luck. And to be honest, I think I called it incorrect, because he was probably 2 laps outside of coming out of the pit road. So one would think 2 laps, especially here, the left-right actions, the undulations, and just the force on the tyres. He probably would have been feeling fairly comfortable that the tyres were up to temp, and then he's just retaken the lead and gone into the wall, and then he's dirtied himself, and then the yellow flag get flown. So he's gone from about 10 different emotions as Burridge in the space of about a minute, and let's see what he can do. And I know myself, you can get a little bit hot-headed when you've made a mistake. These drivers are probably more hard on themselves than their team bosses, so he'd be hot-headed up into himself like, you idiot, what are you doing that for? And then the safety car flies and goes, okay. And if we could get into the helmet of Burridge right now, he'd be probably giving himself a bit of a pep talk, I think, because drivers are weird bunches. They probably are doing that now, but I know myself, I'd be giving myself a little bit of a pep talk, and the M1 racing crew, Darren and Steve and co, they'd be in his ear saying, mate, don't worry about it, this is a blessing in disguise, let's see what you can do. But Burridge, he went from 1st to 10th, could have been worse.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse. It could have been no safety car and just further down in the pecking order. So this does give him a good chance of trying to redeem himself for a couple more positions in the battle ahead of him. Now you got Pavlik and Hansen as well. Dooley, creeping back up the order. So a few of these drivers are very quick and they're very competitive, but he did prove out there in the lead that he can make a lot of time, make the move as well. But it does allow Sean to get the lead back again, so as much as the undercut didn't work, he had a bit of faith to the almighty Lord that the safety cars came out and saved him as well. So, and honestly, it would be interesting to see exactly what happened now. I believe the safety cars should be kicking off now. It's the very short one.
And just getting back
5 minutes to go.
Yeah, sorry, mate, Sheafy. Just getting back to, you need element of luck. I just had a look at the time, and it's just clicked under the 5 minutes. So we got 4 minutes to go. It's what's the ruling? 5 minutes or less, and we don't get a safety car. So our safety car driver, Mr. Tyler Sheaf, you're in 2 places at once, mate. How good's that? Is pulled away from the field, and Smith, I don't think he's going to muck around here, mate. I think Smith's going to go as soon as he gets told he can, and I think we're green again. Around about 3.5 minute, 3.5 minute sprint race to the finish to see out 2023. How good's this?
Mate, it's almost like a green light checker here, and I think that's awesome racing. All the drivers bunched back up together. As you can see, the safety cars hit the pit lane, so it should be going to go. But Swan's doing a little bit of a different strategy here. He knew last time it didn't work. Unfortunately, Bubba did get him pretty early on, so he's going to wait for the last corner here. Comes around and off he goes. Good exit from Sean. He's got a nice jump on Darren Crosby there as well. So bit of mind games there, and he's managed to win coming to turn 1 now, but a lot of pressure on Crosby. You got Whittaker coming in on the inside there. I hope there was no contact there, but looks like he just pulled out there.
Chase is having a go. Chase around the outside. You don't want to be going too wide. He hangs it around there. Kennedy's there, ready to strike when he can. Although Whittaker has got the inside line down here when they come to it. Who's going to break first? I'm guessing Jace Douglas will. No, they're going to try and go sideways around here. Get out of the road wall. Good bit of driving. They just feed in single line astern. And good restart once again. Smith, Crosby, Whittaker, Douglas, Kennedy, Muller, Dooley, Hansen, Pavlovich and Burridge is your top 10. We're back racing again with 2.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, got to be real careful here. Whittaker, though, he cannot make a mistake in the battle with Douglas, because if he goes further behind in the position, especially behind Davis, he will lose his opportunity to win a championship. So everything's on the platter for the 50 Motorsport driver right here. Unfortunately, he's a little bit too far away from P2, just battling a little bit too much with Jace Douglas, but Jace is very hungry to finish on the podium in the last race. As you see, he just fishtailed out of the second last corner. Just got to be careful, boys. I know it's 2 minutes to go, but you don't want to ruin your race like this.
Oh, and the battle's on. We'll hold the cameras here and watch the rest of the field filter through. Close quarter racing at its best, lap 25 or 35. We know we're not going to get 35. We'll probably get another 2 laps, this one and 2 more. Whittaker is got the pressure. Peter Pavlovich is involved. Backs it into the wall, out of the way. Beautiful bit of driving, although on the offside of an incident there. So Pavlovich knew where he was, knew where the rest of the drivers were, backs it into the wall. He knew his race was done. Nitsky and Crosby, though, no time lost. They're checking away.
Yeah, I see James Davis gain another position. He's up to P12. He's 1.5 seconds away from Mark Clifton, so he's definitely trying to make all those positions in time, but unfortunately all the battling had slowed him down a bit. But Matt Whittaker here, he's dependent on Jake Douglas with all his life just not to lose that position. And see, Chase just love tapping the wall there, just under brakes. I believe that these boys didn't pit for tyres at all. You can see the stress that they're putting onto the tyres and trying to get the traction out, and he's doing a phenomenal job not to lose control completely, but yeah, you can see how much these drivers want to push the car to 110%.
Not pit for tyres. Now, I need to go back and do some research. There's obviously been some change in iRacing, because I'm on the belief, well, there's 4 seconds to take you to change tyres. just make sure your fuel is longer than 4 seconds, and you're going to change tyres every time, as long as they don't have restrictions. Battles going a little bit further back. Now Burridge and Van Loon trying to pull out two names at once. Mistake putting them cameras in. Dooley hits the wall. Burridge gets through. And Van Loon continue. Unlucky for Burridge, but he finds himself in a battle. And I tell you, this series, throughout every one, I think I've done 3 this season, and just in just backing up the team when you can't do it. But these AMs, and I said it at the top of the broadcast, the series may be called the Simrigs.com V8 Supercars AMs, but that's it. That's where the AMs stop, because they're definitely not amateur on track, because I'm an amateur and I'm not this quick.
No, if you saw earlier in the season, they did 80 minutes at Bathurst with not one safety car, so these boys know how to drive nice and tight and pretty close to each other as well. But you can see, I believe this could be the final lap over the 41-minute mark now, so it'll be interesting to see if Barney will be able to check a flag for Sean as he comes around into the last corner now.
He is.
Which he is.
He is.
So
This is it.
second flag. And he'll be a very happy man finishing P1. Was that a right flag? Barney, what are you doing? No, that's a checkered flag. Barney doesn't know what flag it is. But congratulations for Sean winning in the final feature for the year in the AM series with Crosby and Whittaker in P3. As you can see, Jamie Davis is in P.
Look at that battle a little bit further back. Where's that car down there? Who's that? Trying to make positions. Now that is Send It. Now let's just Send It, the 350 machine. It didn't look cool, as he probably took about 2 or 3 cars over the line. Now that is what you do at the last race of a season. He wanted to get past that. Have a look at 350 of Gallon. There you go, mate. Pacific Esports Racing right in front of the camera there, and we seen him at the back of shot, didn't we, mate? He really wanted to make that position done. He was trying everything, and he lost traction and gone into the wall and took a few people out. But wow, what an entertaining race! What an entertaining day, mate. The IMSA was great. It was a little bit spaced out. We had Tom and Connor in to fill the void that we probably couldn't have done if we were just us two. But and then we wrapped it up with the Simrigs.com Supercars AMs. The battles were everywhere, Sheafy. You were part of the crew, the race control in this one. So you had to have watched the whole race. I'll tell you, that's 2 that you were part of today, and you knew exactly the script, and you just shredded it before we went live. That's just a credit to your professionalism, mate, and we called it as we had no idea. But well, look at Smith, Crosby, Whittaker, Burridge though. You got a feel for Chris Burridge. What would this last round been to him if he didn't make that costly mistake and put some front end damage on that car? But feel for Burridge. Can't take nothing away from Smith. I think he's the hardest charger as well, up 15 positions.
He started on pole from the invert top 10, so he started first, finished first in the feature. He'd be a very happy man with that. I know for sure he's been watching the broadcast, so he gets to see his donuts out there on the stream, so he'd be a very happy man. I know a few other drivers in the pits are trying to do donuts as well, so have a bit of fun for the final race of the year. But congratulations for everyone that joined week in, week out. It's a phenomenal race, and obviously first time I get the chance to race the V8s, and these drivers here, they're very professional. I think it's one of the cleanest series I've ever raced in. It was just phenomenal. And they're so forgiving too. They knew that some of us slower guys might not be the best out there, or find the best traction or corner speed and exit and that, but they do the right thing. They're patient. They make sure that they make the move when it's on, not when it's off. And the racing today obviously showed how clean it was.
Yeah, it was, and I tell you, there's a smart bunch of blokes that race supercars here at SRW, whether it's a Sunday, whether it's a Tuesday, and that's going to continue in 2024. Don't forget, the series are open for registrations, and there is already a reserve in a couple of our series. And well, if you want to return, get in here now and sign up and register. The paid subscription is back on, but of course the staff are greedy. I think that's what we've caused it, Sheafy, isn't it? So the drivers can blame us, not the admins, for the charge going back on, because, well, we'd like to bring a broadcast, race control, all that good stuff to you. But 2023 was great. 2024 is going to be even better, mate. Have a look at these guys laying some even more well-deserved rubber down, and we'll go through the heat race first, mate. Overall heat race finished. Actually, we already did that, didn't we? Let's go straight to the feature. This race for the race results. Final race of 2023 here at. Where are we? We're at Chicago Street Circuit. Just read what's on the screen, Pete. Sean Smith, Darren Crosby, and Whitaker. That's your podium here tonight. And then a few drivers down. Kennedy, Muller, Hansen, Dooley, Burridge. Unfortunate for him, still grabbed a top 10. Rattler, Van Loon, just outside of Quantum Pecky's performance. Clifton Weston just outside of top 10. Jamie Davis. He made his way back up to 13, so we're just about to find out what's that going to do for his championship. And a few other drivers, Horton, Sipple, Gallen, Andrew Cowie, one of the SRW team. He finished back in 18th position, 18 seconds off the lead. And Travis Daly and your teammate, Dougie Gowans, gets a top 20 for that feature race. And I tell you, top 20... it sounds easier than said than done because, well, top 20 here at Chicago is no mean feat, is it? Because it was tough. We've seen just how tough it was, throughout the whole race. There was no easy section of this race, mate. But I'll leave it to you, mate. You can segue me into it. But the 2023 Simrigs.com V8 AMs have come to a close, and someone's got to be a winner, Sheafy.
Yeah, definitely going to be winners. So we will pop out the final points in for the season, and I believe there's one very happy man that came out today not today's race, but a couple of weeks back. It was Matt Whitaker taking out the championship despite a minor 10 points. So that drive-through penalty, that mistake in that first corner in the second race for Jamie Davis, cost him very dearly an opportunity. But in saying that, though, he should be very, very proud with the effort that he put in to try and recover and make a phenomenal job. While we have Dylan DeBono finishing out in the top three. So unfortunately, he had a mishap in the second race and DNF, but he did it enough to maintain the points into the P3. Then Jace Douglas is in P4, followed by Peter Vanderkran, rounding out the top 5. So everyone else is on there in the points. And congratulations, you should hold your head very high. And I'm definitely looking forward to see the changes for next season as well with the Pro-Am and Am drivers as well. So if you are interested in the Sunday, you are an Am driver, you will have to unfortunately put your hand up for Pro-Am. But it doesn't mean you miss out on the Tuesday nights as well. So you'll get to enjoy all these boys out there back on track. And I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens. I said it earlier as well in the first broadcast that we done today, Sheafy, in my opinion, the best thing about starting a new season is everything's wiped. You've still got the competitiveness. You still have a memory of who done what. Did he block you in qualifying? You still got them little niggles that happened from this season. But you got to start off with a clean slate and go from there. Consistency's been the word for today. I think in both the series, well, you just got to you got to be consistent. I don't think you need to win every race to win a championship. I've been around iRacing a little bit now, and I've seen on so many occasions people winning championships, various championships, whether it's F3s, whether it's supercars, whether it's F1s or GTs. Consistency, you show up every day, you have a good crack, and there's a good chance that you're going to be in the top 15 or even higher in the championship. So I think, that being said, Sheafy, is probably a lesson to all. Just don't get, if you miss around or have to miss around, don't get too disappointed. Just show up, have a good crack, and go again. But if you are one of them drivers that aren't on the pace, and you don't miss a round, there's a good chance you could beat those guys that miss one round if you're consistent. So I think consistency, taken out of today, consistency is probably the biggest thing I've learned, and hopefully all these drivers can take a little bit out of that, mate, and try to, we'll try and get this more consistent and see if we can get the next championships next year down to maybe, what do you reckon, 5 points. Although, if we have a look at the these points just again, it was there was bugger all in it anyway. 10 points between Whitaker and Davis.
Yeah, it's only 3 points in the last race, 3 positions, shall I say, in the last race that made the difference. So we did see Jamie Davis up in P12, but he did give a position back to the drivers. So it's very unfortunate for him there. The safety car, did bring him back into the pack, but unfortunately just couldn't get the job done at the last minute. But he still hold his head very high, very competitive all season long. And I believe himself and Matt Whitaker, and not just that, like DeBono and Douglas and all those boys, they'll bring in a better competitive, just on the track alone for next season.
It's going to be great, isn't it? It's all set up. What we've seen here today and throughout is next season half as good as what we've seen. It's going to be worth the time to tune in, or worth the effort to sign up and race. But well, it's the last time that we're going to do it. We're going to close out for 2023. We've got 2024 to prep for and make even better, which I assure you will do. Sheaf, you've been around a little bit longer, so you probably won't balls up the sponsors like me, but let's give them the time of day, mate, because the sponsors and the admins and everyone around need to know who's got us here all year long. So it's our turn, Sheafy, to give us a shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, obviously a big thank to Ronald Brown Tools, Racecraft Simulation, Grim Industries, Rocket Unlimited, Champion Streets, Rares Bears, Shannon's as well, if I Sim Rigs as well. If I miss someone, I apologise so much, but thank you very much for the support. If you just joined for the season, thank you very much. If it's for a long time as well, big thanks, and definitely looking forward to more partnerships with everyone for next season. Looking forward to see what. Well, not just the drivers, but everyone from the admin, what we can bring for everyone for next season.
Sure, looking up to be a great one, mate. But it's been an absolute pleasure calling the races the last couple of days with you, and of course with the whole team throughout 2023. 2024 is going to be even better. We're going to say see you later on 2023. Have a Merry Christmas, safe New Year, and we'll see you all back here at in 2024, late January. And just on that note, at the start of January, if you're down at Summernats, drop in to the Rare Spares tent, where SRW will have some sim rigs on display, and we'll be doing races every 2 hours. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2024 for even bigger year here on SRW TV. My name's Peter Gretton. That is Tyler Sheafy Sheaf. See you all later. Have a good Christmas.
Total one, this is amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostyn and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because, I'll tell you what, Bruce Tennant, Jamie Dyke just absolutely blown away from him. Hayden's trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen.